Good morning everyone. Today I am dealing with the important topics from B.Ed third semester, Pedagogy of Teaching English, which are most important for your exam point of view. Okay, so let's get started. Dear students, please note these points and go thorough study of these points. If possible, make synopsis of these points and that means which makes to remember you very easily. Okay, so here we go. The first topic from second unit, types of grammar and techniques of teaching grammar. So as we all know that how much is grammar is important in our language, is it? So in nowadays we also know that there are different types of methods of teaching grammar. They are inductive, deductive and interactive methods of teaching grammar. So here, what is inductive method of teaching grammar? Let us know. Okay, so it involves the presenting several examples that illustrate a specific concept and expecting students to notice how the concept works from given examples. So it involves the learner detecting or noticing patterns and working out a rule for themselves before they practice. That means students were given an explanation that was disconnected from examples of the concept, and learner discover for themselves are more likely to fit their existing mental structures. That means in this type of class, students are more actively involved in the class, and the learning process and also the it is being like simply passive recipients because they get more opportunities for extra learning practices. So now it is deductive method. Deductive method of teaching grammar involves the learners being given a general rule, that means which is then applied to specific language examples and through practice exercises. So here a teacher gives students an in-depth explanation of grammatical concepts before students encounter the same grammatical concept in their own writing. So this helps the teacher to deal with straight to point, and it is like time saving. It is very economic, is it? And it can be also simply and quickly explained before, because it is explained with the examples and allow more time for practice and application, and it is also provides fast learning in adult students and acknowledges the role of cognitive process in language acquisition, and it also allows the teachers to deal with language points as teacher come up rather than they have to anticipate and prepare in advance. The another method of teaching of grammar is interactive method or interactive teaching of grammar. So this method, teacher uses games to teach grammar, not only engaging the students but also to remember the sentences what they have learnt, what students have learnt. That means in this method teacher involves the lessons of different styles in different way by providing an opportunity to involve many tasks given by the teacher. So here every individual or every learner is going to be involved and engage in the task or an activity to learn the grammar. So here teacher teaching the students that means how to communicate effectively and understand how to use the English language. So here each and every student is going to learn the language or grammar very easily by involving any of the activity. And so dear students, here is another topic which is very important for your exam point of view. Here you may ask the question in your exam like what materials do you use, or what are the authentic materials do you use to teach English grammar, like that you may ask. So for that question you have to write these points. Okay, that means you have to list down the names and the materials which we are using in a different types of materials. Okay, the first is authentic listening or weaving materials. So here what are the authentic and weaving materials are? They are audio visual materials. So for examples, TV commercials, quiz shows, cartoons, news clips, comedy shows, movies, soap operas, professionally audio taped short stories and novels, radio ads, songs, documentaries and sales pictures. So these materials can be used as listening and viewing materials to teach English grammar in the class. Okay, and the next is authentic visual materials. So authentic visual materials are which can be visualized. So let us see what authentic visual materials can be used to teach English grammar in the classroom are slides, photographs, paintings, children's net artwork, stick figure, drawings, wordless street signs, silhouettes, pictures from magazines, ink blots, postcard pictures, wordless picture books, stands and x-rays. And the next is authentic printed materials, which can find in a printed material. So these for this the examples are newspaper articles, movie advertisements, astrology columns, sports reports, obituary columns, advice columns, lyrics to songs, restaurant menus, street signs, cereal boxes, candy wrappers, tourist information brochures, university catalogs, telephone books, maps, TV guides, comic books, greeting cards, grocery coupons, pins with messages and bus schedules. And the next is realia. So realia are the real world objects. So these realia words are used in EFL or ESL classrooms, that is English as a foreign language classrooms and English as a second language classrooms. So for these examples are coins and currency, folded paper, wall clocks, phones, Halloween, masks, dolls and puppets, to name a few realia often used to illustrate points very visually or for role play situations. So this is all about using authentic materials to teach English grammar in English classroom. Okay. So dear students, now some important topics from third unit, teaching vocabulary, study and reference skills. So here we are going to learn about teaching of vocabulary, active vocabulary, passive vocabulary, content words, structural words, selection and gradation of vocabulary. So it means a comprehensive planning is very much necessary to teach the vocabulary and to select and gradation of the vocabulary which we are going to teach to the students in English classroom. So here teaching vocabulary is an essential aspect in the language teaching. So it refers to, that means it is a list of words which we are going to make the learners to learn. Okay, and according to F.W. Frisby, he says that a large number of words in English language, the wealth of synonyms, the large number of sentence pattern in common use present a burning problem to the untrained mind. So vocabulary items cannot be used in isolation. They are used in suitable structures. Without suitable vocabulary, structures alone cannot be taught sincerely. So structure is needed to communication effectively, though through teaching of vocabulary and structure must go in hand to hand. Okay. So teaching of vocabulary means teaching, that means teacher is going to list down the words or vocabulary list which she wants to make the students to learn and go through it. That means learning a language means learning the rules of the language system, is it not? So the words usage, in other words it can be said as it is the learning to use vocabulary and structure in a meaningful situations. So the words which are to be chosen by teaching in the question are, answer of this question seems to be that we need to select and grade the vocabulary and structure which are to be taught and learnt by the students. So here it is very much that means careful selection and grading is needed. It is necessary to teacher which have a great effect on teaching the lessons and the revision work at a later stage. So it is necessary for the teacher to decide what vocabulary and structures item she or he intends to teach in the class. So here the next is active vocabulary. Active vocabulary is called as productive vocabulary. This productive vocabulary refers to those language items which the learner can recall and use appropriately in speech and writing. That means the vocabulary which is used by the students for communication in speech or in writing is called active vocabulary. And next is passive vocabulary. The passive vocabulary is also called as a receptive vocabulary. This refers to those language items which can only be recognized and comprehend, that means understand in the context of reading as well as listening materials. So these active and passive vocabulary are very much important when the students are going to learn in an English language classroom. Okay, so next is content words. So content and structural words. The content words are contain the meat of the language. So these are the words that we talk about. The content words are the words that appear as symbols for things, actions, and for qualities. So these are the words which either deleted or changed the meaning of the sentence. Either changes or becomes it incomplete. So these words are called content words. So for example, the simple forms such as chair, book, arm, leg, ink, water, and so on. So these are the examples for content words. And what are the structure words? Structure words are the words like is, am, for, are added in the sentence. These are usually added only to make the sentence grammatically acceptable. That means they add no extra information to the sentence. So these type of words are called structural words. Okay. So while selecting the vocabulary, some points to be note down in our mind. That means some points to be necessary to follow. They are: the word have to be selected according to the communicative needs of the learner. Okay, and then the words that occur more frequently in communication have to be taught first, and then the words have to be selected according to the range or scope of the word, and the words have to be selected according to their productivity. Okay, as we all know that English is rich language having more than 5 lakh words, and it is written possible not desirable to teach all these words. So very careful selection is necessary while selecting and grading of vocabulary. So these points are very important to consider while selection and gradation of vocabulary. The first is universality. It is the words to be selected should be of a universal use in almost all walks of life. And the next is frequency. The words which are most frequently used in speech and writing are the best words for the pupils to acquire first. And the next is structural value. Words which help in forming sentences but linking content in a word should be taught early in the course. So next is utility. The words should be useful for the learner and should not be above his mental level. And the next is validity. Words of current usage are included under this head. That means out of date words should hence be rejected. And the next is popularity. Words used in speech, news, and those which are very popular should be included in the selection and gradation of the vocabulary. And the next is regionality. Some words are very important in a particular redefine, while other regions do not require them. A regional usage would be an important guiding principle. And the next is productivity. Such words which produce more words with prefixes and suffixes like harm, harmful, harmless, and read scared, readable, etc. should be selected first. And the next is applicability. The words which can be used in various situations should be selected. So next is suitability. Easy to memorize, ready to spell, and easy to utter. Such should be involved in this list. And the next is teachability. Words which are easily demonstrable and teachable should have a high priority with the teacher. And last is simplicity. Words which are simple appear before those which are different in pronunciation and spelling and also its meaning. So these 12 points should be considered while selection and gradation of vocabulary. So dear student, this is all about today's topic which are very important for your examination. It should be considered as a important topics for your examination. Okay, thank you, Nana.